Today has been one of them challenging days. We took our oldest daughter to her doctor's appointment. Then after that, actually in the middle of her doctor appointment, our youngest daughter, I don't know what happened. She says that she banged her hand on her chair and for whatever reason, she's in pain. I don't think that her arm is broken. If anything, maybe it's fractured. um, and so, yeah, we've kind of just been going through it today, man. Today has been a challenging day. Shout out to my job though. They've been very much just understanding the whole situation. They've been accommodating me, and I've missed a couple meetings that one of my team members like, hey, we'll debrief you when you come back. And so yeah, that's good on that side, but just kind of been challenging though, you know what I mean? But I think we'll make it through. Shout out to Factor. I'm eating my first Factor meal. My wife and I don't have time to cook as much. We're both into tech, and so we're just super busy. Plus we have 3 kids, and it gets hard to cook sometimes. So we got Factor, hoping and thinking, praying that it would be, it'll help out. So life update, work has been good so far. I'm trying to get more into React. I've been learning some React, some JavaScript and React on the side. Hopefully I get a chance to, implement what I've learned and what I'm learning in some projects. That'd be pretty cool. So let's get this Q&A out the way. I have all the questions you guys brought up on my computer here, so I'm just gonna read off of them and then answer as many as I can. So first one is, what programming language should I learn first? That's a good question. In my experience, what I did, I learned HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. CSS. I learned HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript. Then I picked the framework. I did React, React.js. The web runs on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Like, you have to learn those basics at least. So if you don't know, HTML is the text on the page. CSS, cascading style sheets. That is the colors on the screen, right? And also making things responsive. When I say responsive, mobile friendly, right? So setting different media queries, breakpoints to have your website display, look good on mobile, tablet size, and also a desktop. JavaScript is the first programming language you will learn. It's just all about logic, right? So if I do this, then this, right? About functions, about loops, for loops, while loops, the DOM. So all that is JavaScript. JavaScript essentially is the logic behind the website or the code that you're writing. Then I would say go ahead and learn a framework. I learned React. Instead of just doing vanilla or just plain JavaScript, you're building everything components. It's a lot easier. All right, so next one is, do I need a computer science degree to get a job in tech? No, you do not. Is it helpful? Sure. But I know a lot of programmers, actually most programmers I know don't have degrees. If you're coming right from high school and you can afford to go to college and you have scholarships and your parents get the money to go to college, sure, go for it. Why not? But I would say also learn the actual core skills of programming on the side, right? Build projects on the side so that once you get out of college, you have best of both worlds. It also depends on where in the tech field you're trying to work. If you're trying to do gov tech, most of the times those contracts you need to have, a degree. So depends on which branch, like what you're trying to do. But if you're trying to be like me, a software engineer, QA tester, front-end developer, depending on the company, you don't really need college degree. But like I said, if you can get it and it's not gonna break your pockets and you're not gonna be paying student loans, go for it, why not? How long does it take to learn coding? That's relative. How long are you willing to put in the work? I know somebody who learned how to code in 3 months and got a job. That was not my story. It took me over a year. I guess to answer your question, it just depends on you as an individual. Like, are you willing to bust your tail and learn 6 hours a day and just grind to get to the goal? Or are you willing to just dedicate 30 minutes a day, right? I feel like all that plays a part into how long it's gonna take you. What's the best ways to start learning how to code? So I went to bootcamp. I don't know if I would recommend a bootcamp to somebody right now, just because a lot of bootcamps are weird. A lot of bootcamps promise a lot, but they don't really deliver. My bootcamp I went to, they are under review for scamming people and just a whole lot of mess. I'm not even trying to get into in this video, which I'll probably get into it in another video, but Honestly, there are a lot of free resources online. And so if you're dedicated and if you have a network of people to just hold you accountable, I feel like just going the free route, like Free Code Camp, Udemy. Udemy is not free, but they have like some really cheap courses you can learn. If you're female, She Codes, I've heard that that's pretty good. There's free resources on YouTube. I'll probably tag some links below just so y'all can figure that out. But if you feel like you have to go to boot camp or you have to go to college to learn how to code, that's false because there's so much free resources out there. I'm a strong believer in if you really want to learn how to code and if somebody points you towards the right direction, you just take that direction, just run with it, right? So you don't really need the coding bootcamp and stuff. But I will say there are some people who need structured learning. So if you're somebody who needs like a teacher and like just know who you are as a learner. How do I stay motivated when learning to code? Oh man, if you broke, you're gonna stay motivated. Oh man. Yeah, man. So for me, what motivated me was my family. I had a wife. I still have a wife. I still have, I had, at the time I have, what am I saying? When I was learning how to code, I was married to a beautiful young woman and I had 3 amazing girls and we couldn't make ends meet. And so that was my motivation, being broke and not being able to take care of my family. So it was like, yo, you gotta stay up, bust your ass, and just get work done. You can come in. You can come in. You can just bust your ass and just get it done. You know what I mean? So that was my motivation. I feel like a lot of people have different motivations. So you have to find like what like motivates you and what's like gonna be your anchor during the tough times. Because that's what's gonna get you through. So what tools and resources are essential for beginners? That's a good question. I guess, I mean, you need a computer, all right? You need your peripherals, you need your monitors. I would recommend at least 2 monitors, so you can have your VS Code, which I'll talk about that in a second. You have your VS Code or your text editor at one screen, and you can have, say, I don't know if you want to research something on a different screen, and then what you're actually coding on another screen. So yeah, you need your mouse, you need your monitors, everything. You need a text editor. A text editor is somewhere you run and render your code. So I would recommend VS Code. I actually started with Sublime Text, but I eventually migrated like years ago to VS Code. What else do you need? I guess that's really it. I mean, that's all you need to learn how to code. You need a computer, a text editor, some internet, and a place to just get started. Yeah. I hope that answered that question. Let's see. So how do you do need a GitHub account. For those people who don't know what GitHub is a place where you're able to store all of your code. You're able to store all of your commits, your changes, your work. It's just essentially like a hub, a space where everything that you're doing on your local server, you're able to push it to GitHub and it's stored. So all your files, all your changes, all your commits, all of that. So you do need an account for that. Also, when you do get that job, most likely y'all will probably be using GitHub. Doing any kind of coding challenges, like I've had some coding challenges where like, hey, this is the repo, fork it, pull it down to your local server and, code it up and send it back to GitHub and then send them the link so you can see it. So you do need a GitHub account. How do I build a coding portfolio if I have no experience? 2 things I would recommend you doing. Pick something that you're passionate about and build it. Like don't do it's okay to do like a calculator and tic-tac-toe for practice, but to showcase in your portfolio, pick something that you're passionate about and just build it. My wife, she built me a cooking website and I had to build that, right? And if I didn't finish it, but if I did finish it and I went to interview, I can talk about my passion for food and say, hey, I have my personal restaurant, or this is what I envision doing one day, and this is what I made, right? So something that you're passionate about, pick it and build it. 2, you can go to your local shops and ask them, hey, do y'all need a website built for free? Like, you don't have to always charge. Like, if you're starting off and you need projects, you need like a portfolio, you can say, hey, I can either revamp your website for you or I can just do it for free. I think I had mentioned I did a website for a medical clinic. And I think that clinic, they paid me like $500. That website got me a job. And so my whole point is, if you're now breaking into the industry, like you don't have to reach for these big bucks. Like if you're just starting off, do things for free, do things for the low. Because at the end of the day, those things can like propel you into like something bigger. All right, let's do two more. Let's pick some good ones here. How do I get my first job or internship in tech? Network. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, get a LinkedIn account. If you don't have a social media presence, like cultivate a social media presence. I think that gone are the days where you can just code and just be the best programmer in your basement and nobody knows about you. Like you have to have some kind of online presence somewhere. I have a friend who, I think that he lost his job, and I think within like the span of a month, he got another one just like that. He just tweeted and said, hey, you know, I need a job. I lost my job. And somebody picked him up just like that. All because he had an online presence. So if you don't have an online presence, please get on social media. Yeah. Oh, also, you can reach out to people. Like if you have a LinkedIn like presence, or if you have a LinkedIn like profile, you can... My wife is being a fool here. She's acting up.
Excuse you.
You're not being a fool. I'm sorry, honey. You're being silly. Babe, come to that camera. What was I saying? Yeah. So if you have like a LinkedIn, because I've done this before, right? If you see a job that you like, right, apply to that job, and then go find the recruiter's email or their LinkedIn profile, and then like just shoot them like a cold email. And say, hey, my name is, Annor, and I saw your developer position on X, whatever, website, whatever it is, or whatever company, and I applied for it, blah, blah, and I think I'll be a good fit because of X, Y, and Z, and I wanted to just shoot you an email or DM to, put a name to a face to the name. Like, it doesn't hurt to do that. So, like, if you want that job, put yourself out there. Like, that's one thing I had to learn how to do, and I'm honestly still learning how to do. Like, it's hard to say, hey, I need help. You know what I mean? But I realized that the people who are able to be like, hey, I need help. I need a job. Like, what's up? These are my skills. I can do this. Here's my portfolio. Here's the link to this. I find out that those people, they get what they ask for. So yeah, if you need help, ask for help. What's the difference between front end, back end, and full stack development? Good question, because when I started, I had no idea. So this would be a short answer because it's super simple. A front-end developer is somebody who does, who codes everything on the front-end side. So everything that you see, right? So you can be a JavaScript developer. Well, you can use JavaScript for backend as well. But essentially, you're doing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, anything on the front end, anything that you can see and interact with on the front end, that's a front-end developer. Things that you cannot see, like credentials, logins, API calls, anything like that, those are all back-end developers. Those full stack developer, obviously someone who does both. Someone who can do the back-end and also do the front end. So I hope that, I kind of rushed through that answer, but I hope that kind of brought some kind of clarity. Yeah, so we're gonna do a part 2 because these are a lot of questions and I got to get going. Stay tuned for part 2. And yeah, we out. Peace.